All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Keep in mind, it's the last trading day of the year. It's December 30th. There is no trading tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday. It's New Year's holiday, even though New Year's is actually on the weekend. They have the holiday on Friday, so there will be no trading tomorrow. So if anyone's just joining and then leaving real quick, Happy New Year, just in case you're missing the end of the stream when we'll actually say it to everyone. And good morning, Mike Steele, Eric, and Silver. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you guys. We have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today, especially NAKD stock, because it's actually pumped up, not just yesterday during the trading day, but in the after hours as well. It's down a little bit. And Silver's right, the fan is on. The coffee is right here. Good morning, guys. Hopefully y'all got some coffee too, or something to drink this morning. Good morning, Mike Steele also. And we're going to watch hopefully some stocks running up towards the end of the year, especially the S&P, because we are actually very close to all-time highs. And how perfect would that be to end the year hitting all-time highs on the S&P? I would love that. So not only are we hopefully going to hit all-time highs on the S&P, maybe we'll hit some all-time highs on other stocks as well. Maybe we'll hit some all-time highs on Centro, potentially, right? Not necessarily all-time highs on NAKD stock, but on Centro potentially, because it only started trading as Centro around here at $7 or $7.75, I think is where it started trading technically as Centro. So we could get up there today. I mean, it pumped up quite a bit. And if you take a peek at the Google Trends data, you'll see that we are actually at a record high of 100 at 8 a.m. this morning. So NAKD stock is doing nothing but gaining popularity. That's what this search is for, NAKD stock. A lot of people are looking at it. And it's also notably the number 2 highest ranking stock on StockTwits. So it's just under AMC. Nothing's going to beat out AMC on StockTwits, but it is beating out the S&P 500 that has only 6,000 mentions compared to NAKD's 8,000. So we'll see if we can get a little run up in NAKD stock today. It's looking like it's going to be a popular one. So hopefully that answers your question, Lucas. I'm thinking NAKD could be doing pretty good today. It definitely did really well yesterday. Right after we uploaded a video on it, actually, it started running up fairly substantially. It was up, I think we uploaded the video around here, and then minutes later, it started running up about 16%. And then in the after hours, it ran up too. Now, it subsided a little bit in the after hours also, and has been pretty stagnant in the pre-market, so we'll have to see what happens with it. But I am not disappointed by what it's done thus far. So hopefully, we're going to see a big move from it. And good morning, Vivi. Good morning, Mike Steele. I actually said good morning to you already. Good morning, Manny C. Good morning, Stand Up. Sundial, let's make some money. I agree. I think Sundial, I mean, this is the last day of 2022. Now, we've got a lot of news to talk about. Not necessarily Sundial news, but one thing that we are going to talk about, I'll pull it up right now because you have me thinking about Sundial. Just this news about buybacks and how buybacks are poised for a record year, according to CNBC. But basically, here's a list of all the stock buybacks that they did quarter by quarter for the S&P 500. Now, you can see that we started out pretty strong in quarter 1 of 2020 with $199 billion of stock buybacks before subsiding quite a bit in quarter 2 of 2020. Not sure why. We only had $89 billion then. And then ever since, we've slowly been moving up and having more and more buybacks each quarter until this quarter, which is the highest amount of buybacks that we've seen yet. So it is a record year for buybacks. We had $102 billion quarter 3 of 2020, $131 billion quarter 4 of 2020, $178 billion worth of buybacks in quarter 1 of 2021, $199 billion in quarter 2, $234 billion in quarter 3, and $238 billion is the estimate for quarter 4. Now, unfortunately, none of this includes Sundial stock buyback, which we're still waiting on. That could have added an extra $100 million to that record high. So we'll see what Sundial does. We'll see when they actually end up doing their stock buyback, hopefully soon. I mean, they'll probably have to do it in January if they want this stock to be above $1 in time for February, which is when they have a potential delisting going on. Maybe they can get an extension for it. But they basically need to get their stock price up above $1 by February 7th, I think it is. So they're cutting it pretty close. They're cutting it pretty close. They're around 60 cents right now. If they can't get above $1, then they risk delisting. Obviously, they could file for an extension or something like that. We'll see if they do. They may end up doing the buyback in January, and some smaller market cap stocks may be pumping in January. So we'll see what happens. with Sundial, right? A lot of people may have tax loss harvested towards the end of the year. Potentially around here, a lot of people may have been selling their Sundial stock, maybe for a gain, maybe for a loss. If it was for a loss, then they'll have to wait about 30 days until they can buy back in. So that time has already elapsed. Maybe they'll wait until 2021 to do it. Maybe they'll wait until they see the stock running up, or maybe they'll wait until the buyback is announced. So we'll see. But we needed to do something soon, like Mike Steele says. And I think it'll happen in 2022. I mean, we're probably, in my opinion, going to see legalization. Obviously, nothing's a guarantee, and it is putting a lot of faith in the government to do something that makes sense. So you can never really count on that. But I think in this situation, it makes sense for them to do, right? It doesn't just make sense in the sense that it's good for the people living in the country. It makes sense that it's actually good for them because it's an election year next year. So we're probably going to see politicians trying to garner some support and get some more voters coming out to the polls. And if legalization is something that's either on the ballot or that they'll potentially be voting on, then I think that would actually help some voters turn out, because that's something that would have a real world impact. I mean, it would stop people potentially from going to jail. So I think people would be willing to show up to the polls for that. So we'll see what happens with it. But Lucas V says, should I wait for NAKD to go down or should I buy now? Obviously I'm not giving any personalized financial advice, but looking at the NAKD chart, it's always tough to say, right? Will a stock just keep shooting up or will it go down? I already have some NAKD shares, so I'm not too worried about will it go up or down. I'm here for the long-term ride. Now, I think that we did get a little bit oversold when it hit $5. I think that a lot of people right after the merger were very confused about what happened with their shares when they all got consolidated, when they did the reverse share split. And when the price rose on NAKD to reflect the reverse share split. So I think that we probably got a little oversold. Potentially, people just didn't know what this new company was about. They didn't know what Centro was all about, and they were selling their stock. And that has ended, right? Typically, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, when you see a stock pump up 16 or technically, I think 30% at this point. Let's see actually what the actual amount that it pumped up was from there to there. It was 35% from the lows to the highs, and it's currently sitting around 23%. So that might be the indication that it's done with its downtrend. Not a guarantee, right? We could open up trading today and continue moving down. So it's tough to say, but it is still pretty cheap. I mean, we did pump 30%, but we're where we were about a week ago, right? We were actually higher than this pre-merger. So it's not like it's incredibly expensive. You're still getting a deal on NAKD. It's much cheaper than it was when the merger actually went through at $7.75. So you've got some pretty cheap NAKD on the table. It's not a recommendation to buy or anything like that. I'm just letting you know that's what I think. I think it's still pretty cheap, and especially if they keep meeting their delivery numbers, which we'll pull up a story on them, which we covered in the video yesterday about Centro producing and delivering the first Logistar 200 light urban delivery electric vehicles to Europe. So they actually, in December, produced record numbers of these vehicles, 628 vehicles in December. And I believe in 2021, all that they had produced, just as of a couple months ago, were 1,500 vehicles. So it's almost 50% of what they'd produced until just a couple of months ago. So it's actually their highest volume of production and deliveries to date. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. And it keeps them on track for their 2022 delivery guidance of 20,000 vehicles. So if they do keep meeting these expectations, I expect that their stock price would probably rise quite a bit to reflect that. But obviously, we'll have to see. And right now, we are actually probably experiencing a bit of volatility with NAKD because, like I pointed out earlier, on Google Trends, a ton of people are looking for this one. And on Stock Twits, it's the number 2 most active. So we're definitely going to be getting a lot of traders in. We're probably going to see some type of peak at some point. My guess is it would probably run up higher than this before we see the peak, right? Because it's still pretty darn low compared to where it was just a week ago. But we could see this one running up, but it will probably peak at some point, right? Because now we're getting traders in. So it's not just people doing a fundamental analysis on the company, deciding what it's worth and getting into it. We're actually having a bunch of traders who are here to make money in the short term, buying in now. Probably they'll be buying in today. We'll see what happens with it. But some traders are probably going to be buying in. And when they see that we've reached some kind of peak, if we start to see some negative pressure, they may continue that negative pressure by selling their shares, taking their profits, and walking away. So we could see a peak. And not every point on the chart is going to be a good buying point for NAKD. But right now, I still think we're pretty darn cheap. That's just my opinion, though, not financial advice. But we're probably looking at a good day for NAKD. That's my opinion, though. And Heckler Kosh, good morning, Rob. What's up with PROG's new patents? And let's go Sundial. I haven't heard about PROG's new patents, but I'll pull that up real quick. And I agree, Sundial. Hopefully we'll see a good day today. So let's see what happened. Let's see. So as of the 2nd of December, they say they're receiving a new patent for single molecule detection technology. And that's the latest patent news that I'm hearing. But let's see if we can pull them up on Google. Maybe there'll be something there. Let's see. So I'll try to filter it to the last week. And if there's nothing there, okay. Okay, so as of a day ago, PROG closes Avero Diagnostics business divestiture and receives a new patent. So receives a new patent on molecule detection platform. So basically the same thing that happened on December 2nd. So I'm not too sure about the fundamentals of PROG. Like I always say with these... what is that? That is an ad playing, so... I don't know why that was... All right, there we go. Whatever. Weird. An ad was playing on that page. But anyways, with PROG's new patents, with all biopharma stocks, I don't know too much about medicine. I'm not going to be able to say how useful a patent is actually going to be in a medical field because I'm not a doctor. I don't know if a patent's even going to be too usable or profitable for them, right? I don't know how many people suffer from specific issues like that. So I tend to stay away from investing in those biopharma stocks for the long term, unless it's a very easy to understand concept for me, because it's just too easy for them to say something hypey and for me to get caught up in it and to get tricked, basically. So when PROG was a short squeeze stock, I was a big fan of it. We did end up peaking on that, and now we're moving down. So it's tough to say with the patents, right? If the patents do end up moving us up, and they certainly could. It looks like we got a little bit of a boost yesterday. They certainly could move us up. Let me check on Stock Twits and see. They're unfortunately not currently one of the top 10 most active. Maybe they're trending. But they're not even trending there. So I think we'd have to wait to know for sure if this is going to be a big deal. We'd probably have to wait until we see them somewhere on some kind of platform. I don't see them on... Oh, well, okay, they're up a little bit on Reddit. So they're up to number 18 on Reddit. So maybe they could be running today. But I don't know if these patents are going to really turn them around and get them moving up in an uptrend. We'll see, though. It certainly could. So... Mike Steele says, what do you think about the 40% short interest on AMC? Let's see. Let's pull up Ortex and see what we've got on AMC. When I checked yesterday, it was lower than that, but let's see. So we've got AMC right here on Ortex. Now, I'm not sure where people get the 40%. I might need to get back up to date on that, but on Ortex, it says 16.93% of the free float is short, so 86 million shares, but I'm not sure where people are getting the 40%. Potentially it's somewhere. And now we're hearing that sound again. So let me close some of these. Let me close a lot of these. I don't know what the heck.
Oh, really?
There we go. There we go. That was annoying. All right, we just closed a bunch of tabs. We got rid of that annoying ad that was playing, but we also lost a bunch of the stories that we had pulled up that we were going to talk about. So let me pull up some of those again. Some of them were pretty interesting. It was freaking CNBC. They really want you to play ads on their thing. So we had a couple of stories. Here we go. Here's the one. Here's the one that I really wanted to talk about, actually. Well, we already talked about the buybacks, but here's the one where JetBlue is cutting hundreds of flights, actually 1,280 flights, over the next about 15 days because of, basically because of the pandemic and because of Omicron. And how they're worried that some people will have too many sick days, and they're saying that scheduling the cuts will help avoid last-minute cancellations. So that makes sense, right? That's probably a good policy, but it's crazy that the pandemic, I mean, we thought it was over. We didn't think it would be having much of an impact on our day-to-day lives, but look at this. Over the next 15 days, JetBlue, it's not even all airlines, are cutting 1,200 flights. Almost 1,300 flights. So it's not even all flights considering. It's only JetBlue's flights. 1,200 of them are getting canceled. And I know there are a lot of flights out there, but it still seems like a pretty incredible amount to be canceling over the next 15 days. It's actually technically 13 days or 14 days, but that's basically 100 flights a day on just JetBlue that are getting canceled. Who knows what the other airlines are going to do if they're going to get stuff canceled, but It seems like Omicron is having some kind of an impact on the day-to-day. And we'll pull up the CDC website real quick, because I did want to show you guys the data on Omicron, just in case you hadn't seen it yet. We can pull up the cases. Here we go. We'll pull up the cases, and we'll also open up this tab again, and we'll get the number of deaths. So here we go. So all in all, case counts have never been higher. If you look at this chart right here, you can see more recently we've gotten up 7-day moving averages 277,000 cases, and the highest we got in the past was, looks like, 250,000. So our moving average is higher, as well as the past 2 days of testing have been record highs, right? We have 446,000 new cases on the 27th, 431,000 new cases on the 28th. Who knows what the 29th data will be? But back during the peak that we saw, way back in 2021, early on in January, we saw a peak of, what was it, 200. And let's zoom in on it, just so we know we're getting the right bar. The tallest bar there was 239,000 cases. 294,000 cases, actually. So we are in record high territory for cases, because apparently Omicron is much more contagious. Fortunately, though, we can glean that it's not nearly as deadly. If you look at the deaths, the CDC, the same website, the CDC death data, compared to the overall case data, we'll zoom these charts out. You can see that though we're at record highs for cases, we are not at record highs for deaths. So fortunately, it isn't having too large of an impact. I mean, it's having some of an impact, but we are actually still lower than where we were just a couple of months ago in September. So September was actually worse than it is now, even though we have far more cases now. Granted, maybe we're just experiencing some lag time on deaths. Maybe people are just getting admitted, getting tested now, and we're potentially going to start seeing a lot more. But from the look of it, it seems to be that we're not in as bad of a situation as we could be, right? We'd rather more people be getting sick and fewer people dying than more people dying and more people getting sick. So all in all, it's not as bad as it could be, but it's still not an ideal situation, especially considering the fact that JetBlue is canceling or at least delaying 1,280 flights. So there we go. We've got quite a few. Potentially quite a few real-world people are getting impacted by this. Not just, it's not just that they've got to wear a mask or something. It's that their flights are actually getting canceled because of it. So it is interesting to see that. Now, what else did I have pulled up? I had a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. Let's see. I think one of them was crypto, because crypto, as we get to the end of the year, some people were saying that we would be at Bitcoin 100,000. They were saying that just a couple of months ago. They were saying Bitcoin 100,000 by the end of the year. That is not the case, right? We're sitting actually at less than half of that. We're at less than half of 100,000. We're at 47,000 now. I hold Bitcoin. I hold Ethereum. I hold some Dogecoin. I hold some Shiba Inu. And I hope to at one point hold some SafeMoon. So Bitcoin has been falling the past couple of days, right? We've been on a little bit of a downtrend with it. We did get below 50,000, and it would be nice if we could end the year above 50,000. But ideally we would. But I don't know if that's going to happen. It would have to rise quite a bit, and it could happen because Bitcoin, unlike the stock market, trades 24/7. 365 days a year. So we do actually have some extra time on Bitcoin. This is not the last day for Bitcoin to get up above 50,000. We're only about $2,800 shy of that number that we would like to reach. So potentially we could get there, but it's looking like we've been on a bit of a downtrend over the past while. So I don't know if we'll do it. The last time, just a week or so ago, not that long ago actually, maybe a week ago, we pumped up to just barely above 50,000. We hit 5180. 51,800, and then got shot back down. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it before the end of the year. Maybe 2021 will be a good year for or 2022 will be a good year for Bitcoin. 2021 certainly was. So we'll see what happens with it. But let me pull up a story real quick. Sorry, we had to get rid of a lot of the stories because that ad was playing, and we had to stop whatever it was. It was annoying, just popping up every couple of seconds. But here, we'll pull up the I think it's the jobs report that we also had up So the jobs report came out at 8:30 this morning. Interesting stuff to see. Initial jobless claims. Here we go. So this is what we wanted. Initial jobless claims came out today at 8:30. It comes out every week. And we were forecast to have 208,000 new jobless claims. And it was actually slightly better than expected, not by much. It was 198,000 initial jobless claims that we got. So all in all, not too bad. It was a little bit better than expected. And we are getting down to pretty low numbers. Pretty low, actually. Lower than where we were pre-pandemic. So pretty good stuff. We're not getting very many jobless claims. We're near record lows. I think if we got down another about 10,000, then we'd be at record low jobless claims for the past like 60 years or something crazy like that. So at least as the government reports it, we're pretty low on the jobless claims. So all in all, good stuff. And I apologize, guys, if I'm not looking at the comment section as frequently as I normally do. I actually have a little crick in my neck. I was at the gym yesterday using an ab machine, and something in my neck popped, and now it's a little tough to turn my head. But sorry for not looking at the comments as frequently. That should be hopefully healed by the new year. It's actually not feeling that bad right now. I took an ibuprofen right before starting the stream, and I don't know if mixing ibuprofen is good to do with coffee, but that's what I'm doing. So it looks like people are just talking about tragedies of COVID. Jeez. And Zach Taylor, good morning. Last trading day of the year. Tomorrow is the last trade. Is it the last trading? I think, I don't think the markets are trading tomorrow. I think tomorrow is, isn't tomorrow Friday? Let me check this. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that tomorrow is, holiday. So I'm pretty sure that there's no trading tomorrow. Let's see. Man, geez. All right, holiday calendar. Sorry, a lot of these websites have just gotten very spammy. Maybe there is trading tomorrow. The old site that I was using, it seems to have disappeared, so look at that. They just got rid of it. I guess tomorrow is the last trading day of the year. Well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, unfortunately. I'm going on a trip for New Year's. I'm going on a ski trip, so I will be gone tomorrow. Oh, wow. Stock market is indeed open for full trading on New Year's Eve, which is from Friday, December 31st. Oh, wow. Well, look at that. Whatever calendar I was using, it just disappeared. Look at that. But one calendar definitely said, this might be it, actually. Wow, did they get rid of it? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I was just seeing stuff, but... Oh, look at that. Did they move it? No. Wait, this doesn't have 2021 on it, actually. I don't know what the heck's going on with it, but oh well. Tomorrow will be the last trading day. Unfortunately, I will not be here for the stream, so let me change. All right. Let me change the title and just get rid of that. Let's see. There we go. And Rich M makes a good point. Hit the like button. We have 100 viewers of the stream and about 36 likes, so potentially we could get up to 50. We would only need about 14 people to hit the like button to do it. So we'll see if we can. Now, let me pull up real quick. Let me zoom into NAKD. It looks like we're taking a bit of a tumble in the pre-market on NAKD stock right before the open. We're only 5 minutes away from the open, and NAKD is taking a bit of a tumble below $6. We'll see if we maintain that, or if we end up using it as a bouncing point, which we might. We're sitting right at $6 at the moment, so we'll see. It is going to be a probably very volatile day for NAKD. It looks like we are very close to record search interest on NAKD stock as of 9. So we got a ranking of 100 at 8 for NAKD stock. Now we're at a record 98. So we're getting close. We're pretty close to continuing moving up. If in the next 30 minutes or so more and more people begin to search it, then we could end up getting there. And it's very possible. Oftentimes you'll see when the market opens, if a stock is up a decent amount, which in this case, will NAKD be up? It should be up a bit. It closed at 580. So if we end up moving up just a little bit more, then we could continue to get some interest in it. We've also got it, the number 2 ranker on StockTwits most active. So right there, it's number 2, 8,500 mentions on StockTwits. So it's doing pretty good. It's not on the top trending at the moment, but we'll see what we can get. We'll see what we can get with NAKD. Part of it is because they've been doing just very well stock price-wise over the past 24 hours or so, maybe the past 12 hours. Basically, right after we released the video, they started running up. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that... Oh, let me take a sip of this. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they were just getting pushed down a little bit too far for what I think they should probably fundamentally be valued at. And people started to realize that after, I think it was, the 27th that this story came out about their production numbers on their first vehicle deliveries to the European markets of the Logistar 200, and actually record production and delivery numbers for all time, right? 628 vehicles made in December of 2021. Now, they're actually doing something that Tesla couldn't, right? Tesla would oftentimes in the past, they would oftentimes have very highfalutin production and delivery goals, and they would oftentimes fail to meet them. But Centro, at least thus far, has been a little bit more realistic. Right now, Tesla's on its A game, right? It's doing incredibly well. But in the past, when it was just a fledgling little EV company, not necessarily little, not as little as Centro, but in the beginning, years and years ago, Tesla wasn't doing quite as well with their guesstimates and their targets as Centro is. So Centro is actually on the ball, meeting their delivery guidance so far for 20,000 vehicles in 2022, which we'll see if they can do it. They've already got, 2,000 vehicle orders from Japan. I think it was vehicle orders, and they're going to potentially be making those sometime in early 2022. They've got 2,000 there. They just have 628. They just got 628 right now. So it's all in all looking pretty good fundamentally for NAKD and Centro Automotive. So all in all, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm excited to see. So apparently there's record snowfall in California. Let me actually pull up NAKD stock on Ortex. Let me pull that up. Here we go. So NAKD is apparently not too much of a change on Ortex, right? They ever since the merger, they haven't actually been too specific with the short interest change that we're seeing today. We're currently sitting around 1.58 million shares short. So it's looking like not too many new shorts are getting in or out of NAKD, although it looks like it's not updated the past couple of days. So who knows what's going on with that, but potentially right after the merger, it was tough to track the number of shares. Who knows? After that reverse split, it might be a tough situation for Ortex. I'm sure, it does tend to take Ortex a little bit of time, a couple of days I've noticed. And Vivi asks, did you create a PayPal account? So apparently I have a PayPal account, and I think maybe I should put it in the description. It's paypal.me/RobAlmazzi, I'm pretty sure. But there you go. If anyone's interested, paypal.me/RobAlmazzi is my PayPal. I don't know. People will prefer that, I suppose, potentially to the YouTube super chats, which is good because you know what, YouTube does actually take part of the super chats. They don't give all of it to the creators. In case you guys didn't know, they definitely take a decent chunk of the super chats, I've noticed. But let's see. So we've been neglecting the comments, and my neck's starting to feel a little bit better. And Rob, your email is how they can find and pay you on PayPal. Yes. I don't know what email I used for it. I just know that it's paypal.me/RobAlmazzi. That's just the link. I just logged in and saw that. So silver is belled. It's the bell, the opening bell. Here we go. Yeah, actually, I should be paying more attention. Okay, here we go. So the S&P is starting to move down a little bit. NAKD, we'll see what happens with it. It's up 4% on the day. AMC will do a little bit of buying. As we typically do. We'll do some buying on AMC, so we'll buy another 10 shares of it. And potentially, I mean, it's looking like it's not going to drop below 25 this year, but hopefully it will in early 2022. I'd rather it do it sooner than later, just so I can get to a share count that I'm happy with at a price that I'm happy with. So we'll buy another 10 shares of AMC. So here we go. We are going to pull up the camera real quick. We're going to review that order. And then you see it, $278 worth of AMC going into the account. So there you go. Right there, another 10 AMC shares purchased. We're on our way. We are on our way. So there you go. We've got more AMC. We're ready for NAKD to start running up. It's looking like that might be the case. We've seen 2 green bars in a row so far. We're up 7% from the close yesterday, and we've recovered actually entirely from that little downturn that we hit right before the market opened. So all in all, things are looking decently for NAKD. We're still obviously the number 2 most active on stock, Twits. And let's see what the Google Trends data is doing if we refresh the page. We'll see. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Misam. And Peter, PROG Ortex update, please. We will do it. We will do that. So we'll pull up PROG real quick on Ortex. Here we go. So it's looking like PROG on Ortex. We'll pull it up real quick, and then we'll go back to the sea of green that we're looking at. So up 1.7% today, 16.78% of the free float is short, 17.59 million shares on Progenity Inc. PROG stock. So all in all, not at record highs, but not low. That's for sure. There's still a decent amount of PROG shorts. And is it too late to buy NAKD? Asks Vivi. So that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. I do not think it's too late to buy NAKD, because if you look, we're way cheaper than we were just 10 days ago, right? We're way cheaper than we were when the merger actually went through. Now, obviously, there is going to be some kind of peak, because this is becoming a trader favorite, at least right now. And you can tell looking at Stock Twits, when something is number 2 on Stock Twits, you're at some point going to see a little bit of a peak, most likely. And that's because a bunch of traders are getting in on this one right now. In fact, if you look at the Google Trends, it tells the same story. We're near record highs on Google Trends as well for NAKD stock. So you're probably going to see a little bit of a peak at some point. Now, have we hit it yet? Probably not. We're still pretty darn low. Even if you look back 5 days ago, we have been higher than this. So we were at 775 when the merger went through, and we're at 626 now. So I don't think we've hit the peak. I think that we probably have a bit more to run, and especially if you're talking about over the long term, well, obviously, I'm bullish on NAKD. I think that over the long term, we're probably going to be doing pretty good with NAKD. I think that we're going to see probably some good stuff as long as they continue doing well fundamentally, which they have so far, right? If you look, which we've already pulled up the story a couple of times. So Centro produces a record number of vehicles in December. So they are on track for 20,000 vehicles in 2022. And it's looking like they'll drastically increase their revenue if they can continue meeting those targets. So it's looking like it should be a really great year next year for NAKD. So I am not worried about it. But that's just my opinion. It's not financial advice. And good morning, everybody who's just joining the chat. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, I'm not too worried about NAKD falling a ton from this point on. I think that they probably, I mean, obviously it's not a guarantee, but they probably hit their pit around $5. I would be surprised to see them falling too much below that, especially now that they have good fundamental news and now that people are actually starting to look into them more, right? Now you see they're number 2 on StockTwits, they're trending on Google, and potentially, let's see, maybe we could even get them going on Reddit too. They are currently up, actually. Well, this isn't too impressive. I'll pull them up here. They're number 89 on Reddit, but they're up 145 spots. They've only got 15 mentions and 33 upvotes on Reddit, so they're not too widely talked about on Reddit. We'll see, though. We'll see if we can get them moving up on Reddit, but it looks like they're seeing a little bit of red at the moment, just a couple of red bars. They're not below 6 or anything, but the S&P is actually doing pretty darn good. As is PROG. PROG is moving up, and AMC also. We'll pull Sundial back up. It's back up above 60 cents, so I'm glad to see it. They were down in the 58 cent or 59 cent range just a couple minutes ago, so this could be a very good and a very green end of the year. Ooh, look at this. NAKD seeing some red right now. They're down below 6 on this big red bar that just overtook all of the gains that they saw the first couple of green bars. So we'll see what happens with them. We'll see. We're going to need some buyers from stock Twits to step up. Look at this. NAKD, we might even see it get red today. It's still up from yesterday's close, about 3%. We'll see what we can get. The S&P is doing nothing but move up. And gold and silver seem like they're up also. Bunch of stocks are doing pretty good. Look at this. We'll pull up this also. We'll pull up our watch list just to see what's going on with the overall markets. But let's see what cryptos are doing. I'll pull that up. And Mazoom asks, how do I pull up the Reddit trending stock? It's apewisdom.io is the site that I use for the Reddit trenders. Now, cryptos are down a little bit today. We'll talk about that in a bit. But it's looking like NAKD is seeing some bearish pressure. Some people potentially weren't paying too much attention yesterday. They were hoping that this thing would just continue running up. Maybe some people are getting some paper hands selling after they saw all the red over the past couple of days. They potentially saw their opportunity to get out with a little bit more profit than they had yesterday. So maybe that's what we're seeing right now. We'll see if that continues. I would hope not. I would hope that we would continue to see some green, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with NAKD? We are still notably green on the day. We're up about 3%, so not too much to worry about. Now let me pull up some NAKD news that you guys might not be familiar with, because I know a lot of people have not been keeping up with NAKD for the past while. So here we go also. So we also just got the official news. The official news just came out about 30 minutes ago that Naked Brand Group and Centro Automotive receive approval to list on the NASDAQ. So up until now, it was an open question, right? They had approved the merger themselves, but they needed the NASDAQ to approve the merger, and that just happened about 30 minutes ago, it looks like. So look at that. They are officially going to be named, what is this? Centro, what will their company name be? I think it will be Centro Electric Group Limited. Okay, so there you go. They have officially listed on the NASDAQ as Centro Group. So in short time, probably maybe tomorrow, we'll see this name right here, Naked Brand Group, go away, and it will become Centro Group. So there we go. They have officially listed on the NASDAQ. Good stuff to see. And they have been doing very well fundamentally as of late. They've been getting a lot of orders, some from Japan, some from Europe. And some of the orders from Japan were actually for Amazon. So Amazon is testing them out. We'll see if Amazon starts using them in the US. That would certainly be very good for them. I know Amazon has a much larger presence in the US than they do in Japan. So that would definitely be a really good thing for Centro if they started becoming a vehicle supplier for Amazon. And if you've looked at their site, I'll pull up Centro's site. Here we go. We'll pull up their site, and I'll show you guys the vehicles that they've got, but it's kind of cool what you can do. Where are their vehicles? So we'll pull up the Logistar 200. This is the one that they just started delivering to Europe. This is going to Europe. Custom made for Europe, for Europe's tiny streets. So it's a van, but you can also put, I think it's a box truck on it. I think it's a, I forget. Someone commented what it was. I think it's a hatchbox, something like that. Something with a box, but you can put the box on it. It can be a van or just a box truck. And there you go. This is getting delivered. They made 628 of these in December, and they are sending them to Europe. So there you go. The vehicles are decent looking, right? They seem not too shabby, and that has reflected in their stock price over the past 24 hours. Just about, they've moved up about 20-something% to where they are now from where they were at their lows of yesterday. So at the same time yesterday, compared to where they are now, just about near the market open, they were around here, and they're up about 15% over the past about 24 hours. So they're doing pretty darn good. Not too worried about this most recent little pullback that they've seen. I mean, obviously, some people are taking profits, or I don't think anyone's shorting this thing. I doubt anyone would short it, especially at prices this cheap. I would be surprised to see it, but just in case, I'll pull up real quick their short interest once more, Just in case. You never know. Box truck, says Rocky Mountain Gobblers. That's it. I think I said box truck at least once. Thanks for that, man. So here we go. The short interest. It's still the same. So it's not really getting updated from the look of it. It's pretty similar to where it's been over the past couple days that I've checked. 1.58 million shares short on Naked Brand Group. So, or I shouldn't even say Naked Brand Group. Now it's Centro Group, but NAKD stock. So the S&P's taken a bit of a turn. We're moving to the downside potentially. Sundial getting close to making record highs for the day at least. Shouldn't say record highs, but we did just actually, you know what? We officially did it. Look at that. On New Year's Day, or not the last trading day of the year, but I guess. We still got tomorrow, which I won't be here for, unfortunately. But we did actually make a record high just today in the S&P. So look at that, $478.96 on SPY. So good stuff. We got up higher than we did, what was this, Monday? No, this was Tuesday. Tuesday was our past record high, and we just made new record highs for the second to last trading day of the year. Hopefully we'll do that tomorrow also. So sorry if anyone was listening to the stream earlier and heard me say that today was the last trading day of the year. Zach Taylor corrected me. It is not the last trading day of the year. I just won't be. It's my last trading day. I won't be here tomorrow. So I'm sorry I'll be missing it, but I'd love to be here, but I've got other plans. So I honestly thought it was a day off, though. I honestly thought it was a day off. So, oh well. Let's see. So silver is up, gold is up, the VIX is up, the S&P is up. Strange to see everything turning green, even the VIX, right? So it looks like people are expecting a little bit more volatility. We'll pull up the VIX. The VIX is moving up. We're green on the VIX on the day, and we're green on the S&P. Typically, you don't see that. So typically, it's the opposite. If the S&P is green, then the VIX is red, and if the VIX is green, then the S&P is red. So that's strange to see. And Jeff Duvall, Rivian is Amazon's van producer. The new production plant is right down the road. And Bezos is floating the bill. Yeah, I know. Bezos has been he's been big on Rivian. I think Amazon has a decent chunk of Rivian stock in their portfolio. But it is notable they have ordered some Centros in Japan. So potentially, I don't know why they're not sending the Rivians to Japan. Maybe they just know that Rivian's probably already swamped. They've already got a lot of orders to deal with in the U.S. So maybe they're just using Centro in other countries. Maybe Centro's a little bit better able to cater to foreign markets potentially, right? The LS, where was that story we had? The Logistar 200 is where is it? Purpose built to navigate European streets. So potentially they're taking a bit more of a niche market approach and are making vehicles that are specific to whatever countries they're going to be attempting to sell them in. So that's a possibility. Maybe whatever they're selling in Japan is a little bit more geared towards Japan. And good morning, worlds. Ready when you are. I believe, are you talking about SafeMoon? Are we talking about SafeMoon? I'll tell you what, I made a SafeMoon wallet. I don't know how to use it. I downloaded the app and logged in, and that's about it. And boy, is it an annoying login procedure that you've got to go through. But I've got the SafeMoon wallet. I don't know what else needs to be done with it. But that's what I've got. So, and PROG short squeeze rating 99. Good morning. What do you think about OPTI International? OPTI, and I've heard of OPTI stock. I don't know if I've OPTEC International. Huh. Let's see. So it's moving down. It's at what, a fraction of a penny at this point. So it's not looking the most promising. It ran up huge in, what is this, January and February. It was running up big, but it is now at a fraction of a cent. So I tend to not trust them when they're that cheap, for the most part. Sometimes I do. OPTI. Pull up OPTI just to see what their market cap. $8 million market cap. So very low market cap. Incredibly cheap. What do they do? What do they do? Let's see their profile real quick. Engages in selling and marketing optimized fuel maximizer units in North America and internationally. It's market optimized fuel maximizers for passenger vehicles. Okay, so that sounds like a good thing, right? If they're selling, I mean, that sounds useful if a fuel maximizer is what I'm thinking of, but it seems like their stock price isn't reflecting how useful the product potentially is. Let's see, over the past 2 years. They've been cheaper than this, though, so, I mean, maybe we'll see them move back up, but it's tough to say. $8 million market cap is incredibly cheap, so it's tough to say what we'll see with OPTI stock. I mean, they're already at a fraction of a cent. I mean, potentially, if you believe in them, if you believe in fuel maximizers, then maybe not a bad one to pick up while it's at a fraction of a penny, but it is over the counter, so there's some risk with it. There's some risk. I probably won't be getting into it, but let's see. So unfortunately, NAKD is moving down. Now, we still haven't quite gotten red on the day. We've still always been green from where we've closed yesterday. But we aren't seeing the green that we were hoping for. We were hoping that NAKD would be running up. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's a little bit of a better buying opportunity under 6, I will say. It's still pretty darn cheap. Unfortunately, it looks like we've lost quite a bit of decent amount of the gains, so we are getting to the point where we ended up having a little resistance or support zone right around here we're getting to. So in between here and here, looks like we saw a little bit of volatility, a little bounce off of near $6, and then some support near 560. So potentially, as we've gotten into that zone again, we've continued to stagnate a little bit. Maybe that's where we'll find support. We'll have to see. I mean, we have certainly slowed down the descent. It really was just a sharp drop. So Kamal Judah, good morning. What do you think about OPTI International? That's what I read already. Yep. And good morning, Abstract. We can finally look at crypto. And look at this. Look at this. So from PayPal, thank you. I think it's Vivi. I think it was Vivi, right? Asking about PayPal. I'm pretty sure Vivi was asking. Yeah, thank you, Vivi. It looks like I just got the notification on my phone. Thank you very much. Happy New Year's to you. And Abstract, crypto. Here we go. We've talked very briefly about crypto. We said at the beginning of the stream that some people, a couple of months ago, were saying that Bitcoin by the end of the year would be at 100,000, and some notable people at that. So Bitcoin, unfortunately, did not hit that $100,000 target that a lot of people were saying it would. It looks like we are not too close. And granted, there's a couple of days left. We still have, how many days of the year left? There's 2 days left. So we've got tomorrow. And if we pump tomorrow, then, okay. I mean, maybe we can double Bitcoin's price, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think a lot of those predictions were not quite correct. Now, granted, a lot of those predictions were based on the idea that we would see a Bitcoin spot ETF, and we did not see that happen. That got held up in Congress. I think it was. I think the politicians couldn't quite wrap their heads around it, so we didn't end up seeing a Bitcoin spot ETF. But notably, Bitcoin is less than half of where people said they thought it would be by the end of the year. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin in 2022. Potentially, 2022 might be the year that Bitcoin and Ethereum swap, right? If Bitcoin trends down a little bit, Ethereum continues to trend up, we could see Bitcoin and Ethereum swap. Ethereum, I think, will eventually overtake Bitcoin. I'm just putting that out there as my personal suspicion. I hold both. I believe a little bit more in Ethereum. I think there's a little bit more utility in that. I think Bitcoin is more so just being used as a store of value and an investment. And sure, I mean, that seems useful, but you could do the same thing with Ethereum, and it also has some utility, right? You use the Ethereum blockchain, I think, in smart contracts and whatnot to do stuff with NFTs. I'm not too well versed in it, but I do think that there's a little bit more utility from what I've heard with Ethereum than there is Bitcoin. So I think we're more likely to see Ethereum probably overtaking Bitcoin at least sometime in the next 4 to 5 years. Maybe it'll happen next year. We'll see what happens with it in 2022. It could potentially be a very good investment, very good. I think, what was I going to say? Well, Bitcoin, I will say, could still be a very good investment if we do get the Bitcoin spot ETF, because a lot of institutions would probably add it. A lot of hedge funds would probably add it to their portfolios if that was the case. and they'd be buying the ETF, and that would be putting a lot of money into Bitcoin. I think that we could see big inflows, especially if it gets accepted to that extent. And you know what would be very interesting? You could then buy and sell options on Bitcoin because you'd have an ETF to do it with. So that would actually be what I would be most looking forward to. And Zach Taylor says, I'm still 50-50 on selling all my metals tomorrow for tax losses. You know, Zach, I ended up selling a big loser, big options loser on metals yesterday. And, you know, hopefully I'll be able to get back in before metals start taking off. But I've got to wait 30 days. So I've got to wait probably until February 1st is when I'll just do it then to be safe. But I did sell a big loser. I haven't sold all of them. Just the big loser because I think it's going to make the most difference tax-wise. Two decent losers. One was not as big as the other, but I sold two metal losers yesterday. I think it might be worth it. Just looking at how much less I'm going to have to pay in tax for selling those. I mean, metals would have to rise like maybe 10% to make it back up. Like, so we'll see. I mean, obviously, if metals rose, then the miners would move a lot more than that. But we'll see. If they move up more than 10% in the next 30 days, then I think I probably lost money on it. But we'll see. I think that it made sense to take the tax loss right now. And I could potentially get into other miners. I mean, you could just swap the money around into other stuff. I just preferred not to do it. I want to get back into what I was in. I'll just wait the 30 days, though, so I'm not too worried about it. You know, every time we get in a big inflation report, it seems like metals are pretty stagnant. So, you know, we have, I will say, been making, I'll pull up gold real quick. Over the past, the yearly chart, I think it is, we have been making higher lows, I will say, on gold. So we have been moving up. You know, we made a low right here, the all-time low, then we made a slightly higher low right here. Then we made, you know, if you don't count these lows, we made a higher low here and here. Oop. And, yeah, and then you could look at this. And it's not technically the most perfect higher low situation. You know, we are kind of moving up in a wonky pattern, but we are not necessarily in a big downtrend right now, at least not over the past couple months. We've been uptrending technically. So all in all, I'm not too worried about it, though. We've also been very stagnant. So there we go with gold. I'm not too worried about it skyrocketing without us. The S&P is doing incredibly well, though. It looks like we are going to potentially end the year. As long as we don't fall too much today, tomorrow could also be a record high day for the S&P, and why not end it at record highs for the year? That would be nice to see. NAKD, unfortunately, it's faltering a little bit. We'll see what happens when we get to the bottom of this range. It's where we stopped out yesterday, around what is it? $5.60. $5.60 is where NAKD found support after the most recent run-up the first run-up it was on yesterday. Not the one in the after hours, but the one during the trading day. Looks like they found some support at $5.60, so hopefully they'll do it again. And David Amer says, I think an early 2022 Bitcoin bull run. Could be, we might see that. Hopefully we will. Bitcoin has been doing, it's been doing decently over the course of 2021. Where did it go? Here it is. So Bitcoin, if we actually look from where they started the year, they started about, 365 days ago. They were at 29,000, and now they're at 47. So they did really well, all things considered, in 2021. Will they continue to do really well? Yeah, I think if we get the Bitcoin spot ETF, but I think Ethereum is set to outpace them eventually. I think it's imagine that Bitcoin is like IBM and Ethereum is like Microsoft. It's just more modern and a little bit more with the times, a little bit more useful. Bitcoin was the first. That doesn't mean it's always going to be the biggest forever and ever. And Vivi Ruddick says, Elon Musk wrote that Elizabeth Warren has net $12 million and she pays only $5,000 in taxes. Oh, we missed it. It's deleted now. But you know what? I did watch a bit of the Elon Musk Babylon Bee interview, and I want to pull up again Elon Musk's Twitter, because there have been some gems in Elon Musk's Twitter that we have to look at at least one more time this year. So where did Elon Musk go? Here he is. Let's see if he's said anything lately. Okay, cool stuff. So he's oh, Elon, he has some good stuff today. So here's something. No way, NFTs made an album. I think this is it about the monkeys? I forget which. Maybe I forget which band that is making a reference to, but very interesting meme here. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about this one, but very interesting what he's got as his as his second to last tweet that he's put out. Very interesting, and I'll certainly be listening to him on Lex Friedman. This is his third podcast with Lex. I do listen to Lex on occasion, but let's see what else. Okay, and Floki Santa, we already pointed out how when he posted this picture, Floki Inu ran a little bit. So interesting. He still has a pretty big influence on these cryptos. Just a little tweet and a picture of his dog can run a crypto up. It's not nearly as significant as it was, but it's pretty cool what Elon can do with his tweets. So let's see. And for those of you who did miss it, I will point out initial jobless claims. Just we'll recover some of this because you guys have potentially been filtering in and out of the stream. Some people are probably here who weren't here an hour ago. U.S. initial jobless claims. We were expecting 208,000 jobless claims. We only got 198,000. So notably, it's a pretty low number, all things considered. It's lower than pre-pandemic levels. We typically would see like 200,000, 220,000 each week. Now we're seeing really low numbers, especially, I mean, it looks like there was just a big drop-off sometime in November, and we all of a sudden just started getting not very many jobless claims. So all in all, good stuff. But once again, these are what the government reports, and they don't factor in a lot of the potential situations why a person could be jobless, and I think they have to be filing jobless claims, so it's not necessarily everyone who's out of the workforce, but it's their measure of seeing how many new people, I suppose, are getting out. So the next notable thing that we did want to cover, we already covered it, but it was at the absolute beginning of the stream, was JetBlue, and this new COVID data that we've cut. So JetBlue is cutting hundreds of flights over the next 15 days. So from December 30th to January 13th, they canceled 1,200 flights, over 1,200 flights. And they noted reasons such as bad weather and wave of COVID among flight crews. So Omicron is spreading pretty rapidly, it looks like, and we'll pull up the CDC data on it. But it's looking like it is having some real-world impacts. It's having some real-world impacts, unfortunately. We did just see 1,200 flights getting canceled. Now, we'll pull up this chart that we've shown this a couple of times. But for those of you who didn't see it at the beginning of the stream, it is important. I wanted to point out that we are at record high case counts currently. Currently, the moving average is 277,000. And way back in January, when we were at our peak last time, our moving average was 250,000. Now, if you're looking at new cases per day, the old record of new cases per day back in January was 294,000 new cases in a single day. We have beaten that 2 days in a row. We got 446,000 and 431,000 new cases 2 days in a row. We got record high case counts, and those are the most recent days. So we'll see what happens for yesterday's data. But fortunately, I will say this is fortunate that we do not have too many more deaths, right? The deaths are actually lower than they've been. There were a bunch of deaths in the very beginning. There were a bunch of deaths in January. There were even a bunch of deaths in September, and we were lower than all of them currently. So it's good to see that we are not actually making new record deaths, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? The case counts are higher, but it's looking like potentially we're just not at, it's potentially not as deadly from the data that we're seeing from the CDC. Obviously, it is having a real-world impact. People are trying to make things less able to spread. So flights have been canceled, and we'll see what other real-world impacts we see over the next couple of weeks and months. Now that we are hitting record-high cases, I mean, it is winter. Granted, a lot of people were worried that during the winter we might see more people getting sick, and we've got some messages here. We've been neglecting the chat again. Let's see. So full loss. All right. That's the gorillas. What are the gorillas? and Travis Bruce saw the whole Babylon Bee Elon Musk interview. Nice. And Silverstein, parents take kids out of school for the new year. Possible. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, surely some parents are going to do it. Yeah. So Ariana says PROG looks ready to pump. Does it? Sundial is looking good. It looks like we may be on the path to recovery with Sundial. I'm glad to see it. It looks like we're beating out the highs of yesterday, so we're up, potentially ending this downtrend. It looks like we stagnated around 59 cents for long enough. Now we're moving back up with Sundial. Obviously, that could always turn around on us, but it's all in all looking pretty good. We're getting up to 62 cents on Sundial, so we are moving up. NAKD seems to have reversed course in this little zone that we ended up stagnating in yesterday for a while. So potentially this is where we could bounce out of, start moving up. I'd be happy to see it. And Max Pierce, what's your thoughts on Save stock? Save stock. I can't say I've heard of Save stock. Let's see. Oh, Spirit Airlines. Look at that in Save. I've flown with Spirit before. I don't know if they're any better of a buy than any of the other airlines. I've flown with them, but they charge less. That's why I flew with them. So they've been suffering with all the airlines. I think that airlines make sense, right? People use them nowadays. They're kind of a cruddy mode of transportation, though they certainly are convenient. You can get places quickly, but they're also a big hassle. So I can't wait for Elon Musk to make those rocket ships that are going to take people places super quick. I mean, I'm not too interested in airlines. The fuel prices are super high. They've got to hire all those TSA employees and whatnot. I'm not too worried or too interested in the airlines, unfortunately. With all this new pandemic stuff, I'm not super bullish on the airlines. I'd rather invest in a tech company than the airlines, to be honest. So not the biggest fan of Save stock, although that is a funny ticker symbol for Spirit Airlines to have because they're basically just pretty cheap. And Ronnie Wilson asks, why are you starting to like SafeMoon? Not that I'm starting to like it. I have liked SafeMoon for a while. I've not bought any just because it's been so darn difficult to get. But, you have to do something weird on PancakeSwap or SafeMoon Wallet maybe. But I think it's still fairly difficult from what I've seen online. It's not as clear cut as just clicking buy. I don't think it is, at least. So the reason I like it, though, is because it's something that you can hold in the crypto world that you continue to accrue more of just for holding it. So it actually, the way it works is, I think every time someone sells SafeMoon, 10% of it gets taken out as a tax, SafeMoon tax, and 5% gets burnt, 5% goes to all the other people holding SafeMoon. I believe that's how it works. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I might be wrong about the percentages, but it's something along those lines. So if you're holding SafeMoon for a year or two, you just continually accrue more and more. And the more you have, the more you accrue. So that's what I like about it. I like that it does basically not pay you interest necessarily, but you end up getting more over time, which is what I like, right? When I'm holding stocks, I enjoy selling options on those stocks. When I'm investing money in a savings account, I like to be gaining interest on it. Cryptos don't do that typically. There are some ways you can do it. If you have maybe a Voyager account, I think you might be able to collect interest on your cryptos. But the SafeMoon seems a little bit cooler because you end up getting more SafeMoon, which means you get more SafeMoon from every transaction that people make. So it just seems like the kind of thing that could really pump up. And what I also like about it, which is also what I don't like about it, what I like and don't like is that it's not on any of the major exchanges. So Max Pierce says, why isn't SafeMoon available on Webull? Do you know? It's just not. I don't know why it's not available on Webull. Honestly, I would have liked to see them add it. I think it might be potentially too complex of a code. I don't know if they can deal with every time something is sold, they move it back and forth between other people. But what I really like about it is that it's not listed on any of the major exchanges. It's tough to get, and I think that if it ever was made easy to get, then we could see its price pump up big, right? Because it's difficult right now, and not everyone who wants some can get some. Even I haven't gotten any yet, just because it seems kind of difficult to go through the process. I'd never wanted to deal with it, but I think that if they ever made it super easy to buy SafeMoon, then a lot of people might consider doing it, because it does seem like a pretty good long-term hold, right? If you're just holding something, constantly accruing more, and people start being able to access it more and more, then then it could be doing pretty good. So Slim Daddy Bim says, Says you just need a MetaMask wallet to buy it on PancakeSwap. Buy BNB coin first to swap it to SafeMoon. Oh, it sounds so easy, man. You're talking to someone who's not too into crypto, into the weeds of crypto, right? I know a decent amount about it, but I've never actually downloaded any of the wallets. The SafeMoon wallet's the first one that I've downloaded. But I haven't done a MetaMask wallet. I've not done PancakeSwap. I've not bought BNB coin. So I'm a bit of a crypto novice. But I've definitely seen them go up. I've definitely made money with crypto. Just by understanding that there are catalysts that can pump these things up. But SafeMoon's an interesting one because it does potentially have catalysts ahead of it, right? If it gets listed. And Worlds says it's getting listed on 2 exchanges in January. And Abstract says, so much work and fees to get SafeMoon. I'm not willing to do swaps anymore. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of a ripoff, potentially, if you're losing coins and whatnot, just to buy it. But at the same time, if you hold it long enough, you make all of those back in the SafeMoon interest. So who knows? Yeah, and Slim Daddy Bim says, when Webull and Robinhood get coins added, it's already too late. That's typically the case, unfortunately. Not always, though, because Shiba Inu I bought when it got listed on Coinbase. And apparently it was already available on Webull because that's where I bought it. And it still went up several 100% from where I bought initially. But you never know. You have to get lucky with them sometimes. So it looks like NAKD is starting to move back down a little bit. Hopefully, we're not going to bounce out of the bottom of this zone right here. If we get below 560, then maybe the rally is over. But as long as we stay stagnant in this zone for a little bit, I'm somewhat confident we could come back, right? This is where we ended up stagnating after the first rally, right? We ended up bouncing back down, and if we can pull up the daily chart, it should have it up here. This is where we stagnated after the first rally, so I'm not too worried that we've returned to it. We'll pull this up just a touch. But from $5.60 to $6, it's looking like we've got a little bit of support for NAKD, and we did actually see that act a little bit for us. We moved up. We stopped this big descent that we were on. We'll see. We'll see if it keeps moving down or what. It's about 15 cents away from the low that I would worry about. We're at 575 right now, so we'll see what happens. The overall market is starting to move back up, though. SPY is starting to turn green again. Sundial up about 5% on the day, and AMC up 3%. So from where we bought it around here, it's in the green. So I'm happy to see it. So Abstract says, they don't give good reflections to small holders like myself. I initially bought 1.99 mil and currently at 2 mil. I first bought in May. So yeah, it sounds like, you had to hold it for several months. Many months, it sounds like, to actually make back whatever they took away in fees, but you've still got more. And Worlds says, send your receive address for SafeMoon V2. So, let's see. There we go. Maybe that'll log us in. Okay, so receive. Okay. Okay, so send your receive address for SafeMoon V2. So I'm pretty sure if I just copy this, and I can then go to the stream on my phone potentially. We'll see if this works. Now watching an ad for my own stream on my phone. All right. And if anyone wants to send me SafeMoon V2, there we go. It's there's the address right there. We'll see if that works. I'm not sure. But there you go. There you go. There's an address. I'm pretty sure that's my receive address. So hopefully that'll work. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I may have given you, I don't know if that's some specialized personal information, but I'm sure it would be easy enough for me to create a new wallet if it was. But there you go. Hopefully that's the number you need. That was the receive address. So we'll see. If anyone else has SafeMoon and wants to send me some, I'm happy to take it. I appreciate it. But let's see. It's so weird that NAKD is the only stock I've seen that gets good news and goes down. Oh, that's not the case. I've seen a bunch of stocks get good news and go. I mean, we cover the great news on Sundial every day and watch it move down a couple of cents. But yeah, NAKD especially. I mean, with these projections that you see for the future, it's not like it's some cheap penny stock even anymore. It's trading in the high fives at the moment. You'd think that we would be getting a little bit, especially the fact that it's not heavily shorted. It's not like anyone has too much to gain from it moving down much more. It's tough to say. I think that part of the reason why is people were initially confused. Some people are potentially still holding the stock, even though they wanted to sell when it was at 5. They saw it move up. Now they're selling today when it didn't continue running up. I think we're seeing a lot of fear. I think we're seeing a lot of fear with NAKD. So, that's understandable, right? The merger just went through. It's still only officially changed 30 minutes ago, right? It was only 30 minutes ago that they actually got this news coming out that Naked Brand Group and Centro Automotive Group receive approval to list on the NASDAQ. So, all in all, the merger is anticipated to close prior to year-end, so probably today or tomorrow we'll actually see the official name change on TD Ameritrade from Naked Brand Group to Centro Group. So that will be exciting. I'll miss it unless it happens really soon. I will miss it, unfortunately, and we need to cancel that ad. That ad just keeps playing over and over. So yeah, I will miss it because I will not be here for tomorrow. I'll be away, unfortunately. So I'll be missing the stream tomorrow, but understandable. And Abstract makes a good point. He says, all we need is 20 likes to get up to 100. Let's go. So we have 100 viewers. We could definitely get 100 likes. We're only 20 away. So if you want to be one of the 20, feel free, smash the like button. We could do it. I know we could. Will we? I don't know if we will, but we might. We should. But what was that other? I had another story that I wanted to pull up, but I had to get rid of it during that first panic with the ad that just kept playing and probably bothering everybody. So, Happy New Year, Vivi. And all right, here we go. The S&P map. We'll at least pull this up. We'll see that the big stocks are pretty darn stagnant, except for Tesla, which is down a little bit. I think Elon was doing some last-minute selling. At least a day or so ago, he was doing some last-minute selling. It's tough to say if he'll continue selling. I know he has to get rid of his 10% before the end of the year, so he has today and tomorrow if there's anything left. I've not been keeping up with it all that much. But Worlds is doing a 5% test first. And BB, that's Rob's favorite ad. Hit that like button. Yeah, we're very close. We're very close. We're about 8 likes away from 100. But yeah, Tesla, we'll see if it moves down more today and tomorrow. It's down a little bit. I think Elon may be done selling, right? I don't know if he would really wait until the very last day of the year to sell all of his Tesla stock, to sell whatever he has left. But Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Visa, Nvidia, Adobe, Oracle, Facebook even, all of them pretty darn gray on this map. They're all pretty stagnant. Not too much is changing with these. They're all pretty much just sitting where they're at. So not much is changing with the large caps. The S&P overall hasn't really changed that much, right? It's only up 0.25%, so 0.25%. But it is the smaller caps that are actually pulling it up. And in fact, you can tell by looking at the Russells. The Russell's IWM tracks the smaller market cap stocks, and it is up about 1% on the day. So Max Pierce asks, good question. Rob, is it typically good to buy beer stocks before New Year's? Maybe it is, man. I don't know, actually. I've not... Is Bud a beer? Is Bud Light a beer stock? Yeah, so this is a beer stock, Bud. It looks like maybe it was, because it is up a little bit today. And what's it been doing over the past 10 days? It's already... It might be too late, even. It's moved up about... It's moved up a couple of percentage points, a couple of bucks over the past 10 days. What's it done over the past 30 days? Okay, so it's not gone up all that much. So Worlds says, sent $5. Did you get that? I will take a peek at the Safe Moon. And let's see. I don't know how to check necessarily, but we'll give it a peek. We'll give it a peek. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I don't know if I can show you the screen, but look at that. $4.99. They may have taken a cent. Who knows? Okay, here we go, actually. Yeah, it's 2,800 Safe Moon. Very cool. Thank you very much, Worlza. And And BB said that ad you keep playing keep popping up during the chat. Yeah, I kept hearing it sometimes. It just it would just pop up. It was just one of the tabs that I had open on the page on the screen over here. It just kept playing whatever music it was. It was on investing.com, so it was the economic calendar for the jobless claims. I had to close it. It usually doesn't play ads, so who knows? It was kind of annoying. I'll be honest, but it usually doesn't play ads. Usually investing.com is a pretty good one. I don't know why it was playing ads all of a sudden, but Oxygen is up 8%, says Hero Hero. Thank you for keeping us updated on that. OCGN. We'll take a peek. It looks like it is up 6.66% from close, potentially 8% from where it opened the trading day at. So let's see. It's up 12% from the trading day. I never quite know where you get your percentages, Hero Hero, because TD Ameritrade says it's up 6.52%. It's up about 8% or 12% from the opening. Maybe it's here that you're talking about. Maybe it's literally like at 12 a.m. when this thing started trading. That's what you're talking about. That's closer. Yeah, actually, that might be where you're getting these numbers. But you always show an interesting number. It's never quite what TD Ameritrade says, but I do appreciate it. It's always somewhat accurate. So thank you. Yeah, Oxygen is moving up. It looks like this one has just been getting dunked on for the past while. It's looking like today was that its all-time low? Not ever, but in a long, long time, it was the low. So ever since they got, I think it was World Health Organization listing for the vaccine that they made, they ended up tanking. So they have actually started moving back up. I'm glad to see it. Because they definitely probably got into slightly oversold territory, right? This was a very popular stock on StockTwits. It was the most popular for several days. A lot of people were talking about this stock until they peaked the morning that they got listing and then just tanked right after it. And have just been on this massive downtrend ever since. So it's good to see that they're having some green, though we have seen green days in the past. We've seen them moving up. So it's tough to say if that will continue. And Worlds says you can use your fingerprint to log in easier. Oh yeah, I have actually. That's why we did it the past 2 times. That is much more convenient, I will say. That is much, much more convenient than using the weird password thing that they've got. So thank you, Worlds. I just received 2,890 Safe Moon. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. That is really cool. So my first Safe Moon on stream, live, given to me by Worlds Rizvi. So there we go. Hopefully it will continue increasing in value, not just price-wise, but also in terms of how many Safe Moon tokens I've got. I believe it should, right? If I'm holding tokens in the Safe Moon wallet, I believe every time someone sells Safe Moon, I should slowly be accruing more and more. So look at that. I just received 20,000 Safe Moon from Worlds. Wow. How much does a Safe Moon cost? I've not really looked at the price that much, but look at that. So Safe Moon is 0.16 cents at the moment. It's 0.16 cents. And Abstract wants to transfer his Safe Moon to V2, but is not sure how to. Yeah, I gotta say, I've got no clue, man. I've got no idea how to do it, unfortunately. But it's cool to hold, right? I'm happy to hold it and hopefully just continue accruing more. We'll see if I actually notice the number going up. It is fortunately, I will say, a large enough fraction of a cent so that it's not obnoxious like Shiba Inu coin, which we'll pull up right here. We'll pull up Shiba Inu, which is 0.00003393. I mean, it's just obnoxious, honestly. I was never a huge fan of that. They definitely made it a little bit too cheap to make it look too cheap. Safe Moon. Oh, are they serious? Wait. Which one is Safe Moon V2? I think it's SFM. That's Safe Moon V2. Yeah, here's Safe Moon V2. So SFM is Safe Moon V2, and it's trading at 0.0017. So it's not, at least there aren't 4 zeros. So there you go. And its fully diluted market cap is 1.7 billion. So that could potentially 10x, right? That could get to 17 billion at some point. It's not unheard of. That's what Shiba Inu is at. And that would get us to 1 cent. 1.6 cents if they 10x. So look at that. Potentially they could get higher in market cap. Maybe if we continue, and actually, if we continue to see more coins burning, Send $35. You should send your smart chain address to you. Will need gas fees to sell. You should send your smart chain address to. You'll need gas fees to sell. My smart chain address. Let's see. I don't know what that is, but we'll take a peek. I think, is that BNB coin? Do they use BNB as the gas? Oh, the smart chain. Look at that. Look at that. There is a. Okay. Here we go. It is BNB. I watched a little tutorial. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, that you need BNB to sell your SafeMoon, and who knows how much you actually need. But I will send my BNB smart chain address. There we go. I'm pretty sure this is it. Looks a little different. There we go. So I really appreciate you doing this for us. So very cool, because I would almost certainly never have gone through this process myself and done it. Just because it seems like almost sketchy needing to get BNB coin and then they just take some. Gas fees are the BNB coin, not a lot. You know, potentially that does open my eyes a little bit to this data that we always see on CoinMarketCap, because BNB coin is the third highest market cap coin. And, you know, it's seemingly useless to me, right? Because Bitcoin's the big investment coin. Ethereum is the one that people use for the smart contracts. But I guess Binance coin is what they use for the gas fees. Maybe that's what they use for gas fees on some of these altcoins. And that explains why it's the third highest market cap coin in the world, right? It's Tether is getting close. Tether has $78 billion bucks. But BNB coin has $87 billion. So maybe it's because people just need to have some BNB coin around as gas fees. Maybe that's why it has that large of a market cap. So, you know, once again, there's some utility in that. There is some utility in the sense that people need to have some, and that creates a market for it. Now, I would prefer, you know, that it doesn't become prohibitively expensive to buy. It currently costs, what, $522 per Binance token. So that's interesting. Ethereum seems to have more utility potentially. I think you can maybe do the same thing with Ethereum, but for NFTs or something like that. Maybe you need some Ethereum to transact in NFTs. I don't know exactly, but it has a much larger market cap. So, you know, I should really look more into these cryptos. I'm not into the nitty gritty of them. And Worlds says everyone buying SafeMoon 1 will lose their money. Don't. Yeah. So I wouldn't buy SafeMoon 1. If there's a version 2 of I never buy version 1, even if it's like a video game. I never buy the first if there's a second one that's out. Always buy the most recent, in my opinion. So doors closed yesterday. Interesting. Well, that is interesting. But we'll pull back up the SPY right here. And it looks like we're getting close to the end of the stream. Hopefully, I would have hoped that NAKD would be doing a little bit better before we end the stream today. I would have hoped that they would be running up a little bit. But, you know, it's understandable. They're not even red on the day. They're still green. They're up 0.17% at 575. So they're not even red. But it looks like this rally might not be all that we were hoping. It looks like it may have been more short-lived, and you can tell. You can actually look at the Google Trends data and see that people have started to lose a little bit of interest in NAKD stock. It started to trend down a little bit. So potentially not as many people are going to be looking into it as were before earlier this morning. But it has gotten quite a few more mentions on StockTwits. It's the number 2 trender on stock, or the number 2 most active on StockTwits, so it's been doing decently. But all in all, it has lost a little bit of momentum. So, you know, we'll see what happens with it. It's still this only makes it cheaper for people to buy into. In my opinion, we're still stuck in this little zone right here, so we haven't really entered a big downtrend or anything. You know, we might be using this as support, getting ready for the next leg up. Apparently, we'll still be trading tomorrow, so we'll see. And apparently, it does cost gas fees to transfer from V1 of SafeMoon to V2. That's interesting stuff. So you learn something new every day. But it looks like today was actually a good day for PROG stock. Look at that. We're up 7% on PROG stock. We've been moving up. Same story with Sundial. We've been moving up too. We're also up about 4% on Sundial. And Ronnie says, yes, a small percent. It probably charged me $5 to convert my 50K of SafeMoon. Yeah. Interesting. So, So I will eventually figure out how to put money into SafeMoon. Some of my own money I'll figure out how to do. I think it would just be cool to grab $1,000 worth of SafeMoon and then continually accrue some more SafeMoon over time. And I think that the gas fees scale a little bit better with larger quantities, right? I'm pretty sure that you won't be paying a massive gas fee just because you're doing a larger amount of SafeMoon. I'm pretty sure. I'm not certain on it, but I'd like to just get 1,000 of SafeMoon and let it go. You know, if it 100x's, then so be it. That would make it a really large market cap if it 100x'd. But if it is burning part of every transaction, then I could see it doing pretty good. Keeping in mind, you know, when I do sell the SafeMoon, it will end up losing 10%, I think, because you end up having to pay 10% fee when you sell SafeMoon, plus whatever taxes you have to pay on that. So we'll see. And Ronnie Wilson, thanks for all the chatting today, guys. Chill vibe on the stream. Yeah, I like the chill vibe on the stream. You know, it potentially would have been less chill if we'd gotten a ton of people coming in looking for news about the NAKD pump, which we didn't end up seeing. But I am glad that, you know, this is the last stream that we're doing today. This is the last stream that we're doing this year, actually, because we're not doing a stream tomorrow. I'm going to be gone, and that's the last trading day of the year. So we're looking at the end of the stream. And Peter Polizzo says, "Thanks for your videos. I watch from time to time. Buy Sundial. Let's go." I'll tell you what, we will buy some Sundial. So thank you very much, Peter. And you know what? This is still a pretty darn cheap price for Sundial. So we'll buy a little bit more. We'll buy another 100 shares of Sundial, as you asked. So there we go. We'll buy another 100 around that price right there. It might go in. Maybe we have to raise it a little bit. We'll buy some. Wow, look at that. The price just keeps going up a fractions of a cent. Look at that. There we got another 100 of Sundial. So nice. Now we've got another 100 Sundial. And we'll probably be buying some more. You know, if we saw a little bit of a dip, really I should have been buying this morning. But, you know, I think that Sundial will be doing really good in 2022. I would be buying more, but I'm pretty close to the max allocation as a percentage of my portfolio that I'm happy with. You know, in a single stock, even though I really like Sundial. I've already got a lot in other cannabis stocks as well. So I have slowed my buying. If we ever got down to 53 cents again, I'd have to buy a decent amount more, though. So go Sundial. I agree. Sundial is kind of recovering and didn't catch Shiba. Thoughts on Shiba Inu? Well, it's down a little bit. It's down over the past 7 days. You know, I think a lot of the hype, unfortunately, may have died off with Shiba Inu. It looks like we might be somewhat recovering, though. I'll pull this up. We are somewhat recovering. So we're looking decent on Shiba Inu. Not amazing, but we're looking decent. Better than we could be looking, right? We could have just been moving straight down. It looks like we are starting to move up a little bit over the past little while. We've started to move up on Shiba, but we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully Shiba doesn't crash too much. I'm holding some Shiba, but personally, I like SafeMoon more. So that is it. It is 10:30. At least it's 10:29. It's going to be 10:30 by the time we end this. So we've seen some green today. I am happy to see it. And Peter just linked my channel to Stock Twits. I appreciate that, Peter. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, if it's a link to the stream, we're pretty much done for the day. It's looking like this is probably the end. But look at that, guys. On this stream, records were set. We got our first batch of SafeMoon, and we'll be looking to add that. And did we get the smart chain? Worlds asks. Let's make sure we got the smart chain. Hopefully we did. I like this fingerprint thing. That's convenient. And we did get the smart chain. Nice. Thank you very much, Worlds, for setting us up with this. This is very cool. I will figure out at some point how to buy into it. I will figure out how to put money into this account and whatnot. It seems a little complicated, but hopefully I can do it all right on the app. But thank you very much. We got our first bit of SafeMoon, our first bit of BNB coins. So records were set today. And it's looking like records were set not just in terms of that, but also in terms of all-time highs on the S&P. I'm looking at it right now. Just 4 minutes ago, we hit $479 on SPY. Record highs to end out the year. So we will have trading tomorrow, but I will not be streaming tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town. So have a good one, guys. Hopefully you're not too bored tomorrow without me. Have a great New Year's. Have a great rest of the year. If you had a bad 2021, don't carry it into 2022. Use the weekend and the break to reset your mentality. We'll get back into it with a good mindset in 2022. In just a couple of days, we'll see you We'll be back in 2022. I think when will the first day actually be? It'll be January 3rd will be the first day back. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then. Have a good one, guys. Bye.